Hey everybody, welcome back to the Capes Cast podcast. I'm Jeremy,
And I'm Ryan.
and there's really not a whole lot of news this week. Um, Marvel is going to be publishing X-Files, if anybody likes X-Files. But yeah, apparently Hickman said something about it
I've never been a fan
in the
of
podcast.
X-Files, but never really got into it. But
If
if it's Hickman
Hickman's
doing it,
writing it, it could be cool, but if
if
he's
it's
not
Hickman
writing
writing
it,
it, yeah, it'll be a good story at least.
if he's not writing it and he's just like teasing it because of other crossovers they're doing, then well, I might just skip it.
Seems like Marvel like really just trusts Hickman to be like, here, we got licensing to this other IP. Like we
It's
know
like, hey,
you
we're
won't
just
mess it
having
up.
fun with it.
Yeah.
Not much other. I mean, honestly, that was really the only thing that stuck out to me as far as
Yeah.
news went. Um, Quite a few books came out this week. Pretty good.
Yeah. And we had free comic book day over the weekend.
That's right, we did, yeah.
hmm
Uh, did you end up getting everything? Like one of everything or everything that you wanted?
Yeah, yeah. I ended up getting pretty much everything. Pretty much like also when I went in earlier, they still had everything out and they still had
Oh,
so they were like just grab
yeah,
whatever you want on your way
yeah,
out. So I pretty much got like doubles of the ones I wanted. So,
yeah. There you go.
you know,
Yeah,
I
I have
really
everything.
only wanted the All In Fantastic Four and what's the other one? The Ultimate Universe Spider-Man. That's it. That's pretty much the only three I was really.
Yeah, I mean, I just got there were a bunch of kids ones I picked up for my
Yeah,
kid,
makes sense.
so
Makes
it
sense. I
was,
ended up picking up the blank.
I got one of those too.
Yeah, I was like, why not?
I had to, man. It was
I did kind of spoil myself and I ordered the foil one online just to have it.
which one?
The all in, the foil.
What's it look like?
It's just the normal uh it's just the
Oh,
normal
is it this one?
yeah, it's like that's foil
Oh,
and the other side. I think that's double-sided foil.
oh, got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you're saying now. Damn.
I ended up ordering it online. I was like, why not?
Had I known it was like wraparound, it was two side covered, I would have gotten it.
Yeah. I didn't know until I came home. I was like, oh, they gave us another flip book. That's really cool.
Dang it. That sucks. I'm mad now.
Why?
Because I wanted a foil now, like like this absolute universe
Yeah.
would have been tight with in foil.
Yeah, that's the mainly reason why I got it. I was like, that'd be cool to
Man,
have, you know?
so lame.
Yeah.
Whatever. Whatever. That's fine. Um, let's just dive right into it.
Yeah.
What do you want to get into first?
Well, your boy Al Ewing, he did a
Yeah, let's do Detective.
Batman annual, which was really good. It was really good. I saw Ewing's name there and I was like,
Yeah, I didn't
wonder how this
realize
is
he was
gonna
writing
go.
it until like literally the day it came out, and I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
I said, "We're doing that."
Well, I saw the name there and I immediately had to check and make sure it wasn't Eve L. Ewing.
Oh yeah, Evie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So once I saw it was Al, I was like, yeah. And I mean, as a Batman fan, this is everything I'm asking for. Just a bare bones mystery, detective, dark. And let me just say it, man. I don't think there is a comic genre that Ewing can't nail at this point.
yeah.
I
He's
feel
got
like
everything down
he
down
just
pat, dude.
well, I just feel like he just understands the medium so well that I feel like he can do anything at this point. Like he knows how to make a great Batman story. All the crazy things he did over in Marvel, that were so different.
Yeah,
Just going from Immortal Thor, which is so, referencing everything in the continuity, and then going to this, it's like you wouldn't believe that it's the same writer, but he's just nailing everything he does.
yep,
I
yep.
would really, I told you this before, and I would not mind an Ewing Batman book. I think he'd nail it.
Yeah. I was just about to say, like, it's surprising how different this is from like Metamorpho and Absolute Green Lantern so far.
Yeah,
All three of them, like Metamorpho is it's a long read, man, every single
it
time.
is. It is, but it's a
but
like
it's
he's kind of making it a product of its time where it was like a lot
right.
more
I was
tell
gonna
don't
say like it's
show.
very like right. It's very like Silver Age and like the way that it like the dialogue
Yeah.
and the right. So it's and there's a lot of panels in
Yeah.
that book, but
Yeah.
it's really fun to read. So it's like even though it's a lot to read, a lot of it's really fun.
Yeah,
But
but like I said, he nails like that vibe. Like it feels like
yeah, like
straight out
everything
of
he's done so far has been like pretty on point,
yeah.
and it's nice to see him kind of flex it a little bit.
Yeah.
We
I
like
mean,
I've heard a few times that he has like a really deep knowledge of DC, so it would be cool. It's cool to see him kind of like
wouldn't surprise
bring
me,
it on,
dude.
you know?
Yeah, it would not surprise me, dude. But pretty much this is all about Batman pretty much walking into a crime scene basically, and there's a man who was stabbed in the back with a knife, and written in blood it says, "Batman, do not solve my murder." And that's the number one way you're gonna get Batman to do something, is by telling me to not do something.
Right.
So,
And it kind of leads him on like a little bit of like a wild goose chase.
mhm.
And he's like, he goes through the house and he goes to the man cave and he sees on the man cave TV that there's like instructions.
Yep.
And then what's next? The library, right?
Yeah, he goes to the library and it's not like it looks like it's like books and stuff, but it's really just screens.
Yeah.
It's like
And he reads, yeah.
so which is pretty cool. It's pretty different.
That's what I need for my comics, man. Just
Yeah,
screens
right.
that I can read.
Right. And then basically like knives start coming to life and fucking attacking them. Like
Yeah, man, like in the kitchen.
yeah, like the
Batista's
knives
like
just start
kitchen
coming at
on.
him. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And
I thought this was a really cool scene because like he has all the knives coming at him, and he starts like dodging them and catching them and counting them. And I'm
yeah.
like, all right, man. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
this is
like
way cooler than him falling from the moon.
yes.
So,
100%.
you know what I mean?
But it's dealing with all the knives. That's when he's like,
Yeah.
like why? Who needs five paper cookbooks and a robot kitchen? Especially when books were on a digital screen.
Hmm.
And we find out that basically one of the books by author Arthur Milligan is How to End the Universe. So Batman
Right.
pretty much just goes to England to talk to the author, more or less.
Well, it's like yeah, somebody who's kind of like an expert or like
Yeah,
knows him, I guess,
pretty
or
much.
knows of
Yeah.
him. But it's like the book is interesting because there's only like 5 copies of it.
Hmm.
There's a like select few pages that are torn out of every copy, and it's just like the mystery behind this book is when it was written, the math was right, but the technology or like the basically like you couldn't apply it to the physical world at that point when it was like done.
Right.
But now that you can, computers can do it and they can solve the equation or whatever. It's dangerous to have this out there. So this guy has like collected all of these copies to protect the world, I guess, you know.
Right.
And then yeah, it leads Batman
Yeah,
on.
and then they change the artist for when Batman leaves like this, and I think I love when they do stuff like that where it's like, hey, obviously the scenery's changing, so let's change the artist. And
Yeah, like in anthologies, like well, in like an annual stuff like this, I think that's pretty cool. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
It's
But
funny
when
how
it's a
like sometimes
trope in like a nonstop like comic that's ongoing, it does get annoying. But like for
yeah,
annuals like this, I do think it's fun when artists get creative and when writers get creative. Like,
right.
hey, I'm gonna have him over here, then over here, then over here. Like
Yeah,
so.
because
And
he's
it's
in the
Mr.
UK
Mystic,
now.
we find out. Mr. Mystic.
Yeah,
And he's like this, like,
low level like magician
yeah,
that's
he's like
kind of
this,
been
like,
amped up.
and he like has these pink ghost things,
Yeah,
and
this
Batman, of
was
course,
slick
immediately was like,
because
let's go.
Batman's like running away,
Yeah.
but he
Batman's
thinks
like,
that he's like oh he's like I've got Batman on the ropes, I'm gonna get him.
yeah.
Then he literally just like he's like oh he's like that protective circle that you were in. He's like it ended way back over there. He's
Yeah.
like get ready for ass whooping basically. I was like all
Yeah.
right.
And it's Batman basically being like, I know your city better than you do, this type of thing. Like, like
Yeah, seriously.
it's pretty cool. Like I like that, like it's something I could totally see Batman really doing.
Right.
Just getting like studying the city before going out there and then being like, okay, this is where this ends and where this. It just seems like such a Batman.
And then it kind of gets to the climax where it turns out that it's the other half, like the other rich billionaire kid of
Hmm.
this company that, they were friends. It kind of implies that they were really close, right?
Right. Yeah, this
So,
third artist is actually really good.
yeah.
Who is this? Is that yeah.
Let me see.
Yeah, this art is really good. Um,
Fico Ocio. Fico Ocio.
but yeah, pretty much this guy's like trying to cause a disruption. Like imagine the money to be made by shorting the laws of physics and blah blah
Yeah.
blah. It's your typical Batman story where like the journey there is better than the climax, but this is still a great climax because I've read so many
Right.
stories where it just ends in nothing. Like it's just like a Batman solved it. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, like at least like here, there's like some consequences for the
Yeah,
villain at least,
yeah,
because he's kind of trapped within a
yeah. Like a
prison
molded
of his own
glass.
making.
Yeah,
Yeah, like well, it's a ball of like frozen time.
yeah. That's
I
right.
think
That's right.
Batman said.
Hmm.
So like, it is kind of like this is what he was searching for, and Batman is like, all right, like since you giving me no choice, I'll give you what you're asking for, but I'm gonna give you like the least problematic of it all, and it's localized just to you.
Right.
So
But
he kind of
see, it's pretty cool because it kind of ends with an ominous type thing, which makes me wonder, does Al Ewing know something that we don't? Because he basically ends this story with it started with music. I wonder how it will end. So it kind of makes me wonder, does he think he's going to pick back up on this later?
I don't know, but also they also talk about how every other copy of these pages has been destroyed and how the guy that was destroying them would want them destroyed,
Of
and
course.
it's left ambiguous on whether or not Batman destroyed the papers or not. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
he has the other three.
It just kind of gives me like a thing of like, what's Al Ewing playing at here? Is he thinking
Yeah,
of continuing this story later? Like once he
that'd
like
be
feels like
cool.
he can, and
That'd
just
be cool, man. Maybe he'll take over detective at some point.
that would be sick. That
Dude,
would be sick,
I gotta read Batman now.
dude. It would probably be the best Batman run in decades. I'll tell you that.
I probably, but I
I'll tell you that. But yeah, I mean, and then by the end of this, who somebody else does a little story. I didn't really read it, to be honest with you.
yeah, it's just like the kid going like discovering that there was something up with the school. And he's like leader of the Batman fan club or something
Oh, okay.
at his school. He's like 12. He's like a seventh grader. So Batman is like, "Hey, you help me solve this." And he's like, "Do you want to ride home in the Batmobile?" And he's like, "Sure, Batman, let's do it." And then he just drives away. It's literally just like a 10-page little like silly little thing. It's whatever.
Okay. Yeah. I was just so stoked with the Al Ewing thing. I was like, I don't want
Yeah,
to
man,
read.
it was tight. I
Yeah.
when I got through the end of the story, I was like, I'm like, normally there's other stuff, but then I saw like somebody else's name, and I was like, let me keep going. And then I
Yeah.
was seeing that, and I was like, I'll read it, whatever.
Well, it's really cool too because it feels like he's given us like a mini dark patterns because it was like act one or case one. You know what I mean? Like it was
Yeah,
like
Act One, Act Two,
like
Act Three.
three
Yeah, that was
acts
cool.
in this. So
Liked it.
the pacing was great, writing's great. Ali Wing is just
Yeah, and there was like a lot per page.
hmm yeah,
All right.
great, great stuff. Love Al Ewing.
Know it, man.
You were right. You called it.
I knew it.
You called it, bro.
I knew it, man. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah.
She was Mysterio. I knew it.
Yeah. This with a
But the twist with it being five people I was like, okay. And it being like real magic, it seems like,
what it seems like.
which, okay, like this whole issue is a bit of a doozy because up until this point, you're very like, and I like how Gwen is posed as kind of this like, she's a bit mysterious, she's abrasive, she's kind of like, could be a bad guy. So, like, if you're picking up on it, And this reveal is like, okay, so it kind of like doesn't really entirely seem out of left field, I guess.
Yeah.
But then you also get like her backstory and you get
Yeah.
like her reasoning behind doing it and like her conversations with her dad when she's little and then when she meets Harry and it's just like the back and forth between her life with her like her personal life and then when she meets Harry as an adult, her childhood and then like eventually her inclusion with like the council of Mysterios, you know what I mean?
Mm.
So, but then it was nice to see that Quentin is still actually part of it.
Yeah.
He's like the leader, it seems like.
Yeah. I, I
Uh,
I feel like besides Quentin and Gwen, we're probably gonna have a reveal of who the three are, and it's gonna be like,
maybe somebody familiar.
yeah. I don't see
Could
why
be.
they wouldn't have it be somebody like familiar.
You never know.
Or who knows, maybe Hickman will just be like, those guys don't matter, we're not gonna touch on
Yeah, we don't give a shit about those guys.
them.
Right, exactly. But then it's like to their wedding, and I thought this was kind of interesting, the conversation between Gwen and Norman,
Oh yeah.
because he's like, don't let him ever distract you from what you were meant to do.
Right.
And she's like, okay, yes, but okay, like
I
interesting, kind of like
think
interesting thing
Norman
to
can
say.
like sense that she,
Has something else going on.
yeah, like, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's cool to see him kind of still have like a hand in things, even though he's not around
And
anymore.
it just kind of makes me feel a little weird. Makes me wonder if it's like a hint, like kind of like a, not like referencing, but like a reference.
Don't even say it, man. Don't even say it. Don't even say it out loud.
You already know what I'm about to say.
I already know what you're gonna say, man.
But when Norman says, I think he could have done better.
He's talking about himself.
Yeah.
I'll say it for us. How about that?
Well, that's what immediately what I thought when I was reading it, and it gave me
Oh,
the creeps, like, ooh, because that's that whole thing with Norman and Gwen just creeps me out, and I just feel like,
I was like, are we going to France again?
yeah,
Because it was France they went to, right?
hmm.
Yeah, they're going to France, all right, for sure.
So it made me just kind of feel like Norman's kind of just being like, hey,
Yeah.
you're
He's,
out of my
he's
son's league, you need somebody.
yeah, exactly.
So I don't know, I just felt that was weird, and I'm kind of glad that if
Yeah,
that's
it
what
was.
we're the reference we're gonna get, just keep it there, please.
And then you get like Christmas and she hands him this book, but then you start to see like the Mysterio hand
Yeah,
creep over her. And
I
then
did
he's
notice that before.
like the influence begins to kind of like creep in.
Hmm.
Or maybe it's always been there and now it's kind of been revealed to us at
Right.
least. Because she's like telling them about the maker and the secret history of the world and all this stuff.
Hmm.
Um, and then you get like fast forward to the dinner from issue 4, I think, right?
Yeah.
And then you get so I thought this was a little bit crazy. Um, like these situation like with Otto.
Right. Because basically she's like, you know, like basically if he goes missing, I protect you. And I put on like basically a
Right.
protection on you, a protective state over you.
Right. And because of Mysterio's influence, she ends up firing him.
Right. Well, she doesn't want him basically interfering with and finding out anything. So yeah,
Right.
he ends up getting fired, which I hope,
It's gonna have some major repercussions, dude.
yes. Because I feel
Because
like,
he's already been tampering with some of the tech in there, probably on his own time with his own stuff.
right. And how
And
are
these
Peter and Harry gonna feel about him being let go now? Because they have like he has all their secrets.
right.
So
It's a big problem, dude.
yeah. Damn it, Gwen.
And then you get this like right here the moment where Craven
Kills Harry.
yeah, kills Harry, but it's really just a switcheroo.
Yeah.
like with a decoy to trick Craven and Peter,
Hmm.
but which is cool. And then it kind of ends with them visiting his grave, you know.
Yep.
And I'm interested to see what is next for Harry Osborn because now he clearly can't be the Green Goblin.
Right.
So it's just like this ominous figure. And he can really
Yeah.
just
And
kind of
how's
be
Peter going to react once he sees the Green Goblin out there again? And he's going to be like, what?
right, right. Yeah.
So,
It'll be a little bit crazy.
yeah, man. Hickman's
Do
Hickmaning.
you think he'll come and tell Peter, or do you think he's gonna make keep it a secret?
I think he's going to try to keep it a secret with Gwen as long as he can.
Okay. I
I
could see
think
that
so.
being the case.
And I think it's going to start causing a wedge because I think Gwen's going to start being like, you can't tell Peter. You can't tell Peter. You can't do
Yeah.
this. You can't do this.
He's
So
gonna
it's going to be like a,
I kind of tell him everything. So
right. So it's going to be like a thing now where it's like, hey, we told Peter everything once, and now you tell us not to because I have to pretend to be dead.
right, and also the other thing too is like how does he explain coming back to life and not reveal that she's Mysterio and all those secrets?
Exactly.
So it's gonna be it is a bit different this time around, but also it's like
Until Peter finds out on his own when he meets up with
right.
Mysterio or fights Mysterio, runs into Mysterio or something.
Right, or ends up fighting Green Goblin, and like ends up running into Green Goblin, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's bound to find out again, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I don't know. Hickman is Hickmaning, and this
like always,
continues
man,
being the best Spider-Man book in years to date. It's 10 out of 10 stuff. It's the first book I read every week it comes out.
it's crazy that we're only 16 issues in. It feels like a bunch has happened.
Dude, yeah, it feels like it's been like 30 issues worth of stuff happening.
Yeah, man, it's been crazy. A bunch of
Yeah.
stuff happening, bro. Like they've set up a bunch of shit,
How I feel about Ultimates too. I'm like, Ultimates only on issue 12?
dude. I
Like
know.
so much has happened. Like each issue is like
Those are
world
jam
building.
packed, dude. Yeah,
Yeah. Each issue
I
is
mean
like
it's
building
great.
another area.
It's
It's
good
like,
stuff, but also it's like, damn,
yeah. I'm
I like it.
not complaining though. I
All
love
right,
both of them. All right. So now you want to, yeah. Dude, we didn't
it
talk about the other Fantastic Four issue, but my God, dude.
was sad, bro.
That Ben issue, it was great. I loved it. I love Ben, but good Lord, what a
It was
bummer that issue
sad,
was.
dude.
Dude, him going to like
Her dad.
Aisha's dad and like Puppet Master
And
just to
just saying like
feel
make me
happy.
happy. Yeah, make me happy because I don't feel happy. I'm like, dude, that's like
Bro, I
hitting
just want to
hard,
give Ben
bro.
a hug, bro. Like, God.
Yeah, seriously. I was like,
My
oh,
God.
man.
So
And then
yeah,
like
so
they even like open up with that kind of like referencing it, you know what I mean? Like after they
yeah.
talk about like the four of them and the cosmic rays and yada 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 and how they met and
Hmm.
um yeah, it's just like a kind of a quick like it's weird because this kind of seems like a little bit of like a quick number one intro
Yeah,
kind
it
of gig.
does.
Like this is who it is. This is how they got their powers.
Yeah.
But then yeah, Alicia like he's like, "Oh, I'm done with therapy." And she's like, "Oh, how did it go?" So he's like clearly like working on, you know, how he's feeling about everything.
Right.
So it's nice to see the carryover and it's not just like a one issue thing and he's like back to his normal self.
Right. And we know from the like issue before, he's hiding it from the kids, from Alicia. He's pretty much
Yeah.
like, hiding it all. But like when he's alone with Reed, he pretty much just like,
Right, exactly.
what's the point of my life?
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Like,
Like anymore.
yeah. And
Um,
basically, they try to
so-
come up with a plan of basically going into the cosmic storm again.
yeah, because to give Ben back his powers.
Right.
But they do it in a way that's like they go to alternate universes and do it and then go back in time to that point when the storm happens.
Right.
And then which it doesn't work. They learn pretty quickly because it's, you know,
Different
cosmic
universe. Yeah.
radiation signatures, Marvel war time.
Frequencies are different in other universes.
Yeah, like Marvel science explanation
Hmm.
reasons, you know. And so they just keep trying. and trying and trying and trying and trying over and over again. And then it doesn't work. And then they finally decide, oh, maybe we'll just go back in time to our universe and catch it, you know, on the side while they get exposed. Ben will get exposed because like this whole time they're beginning to lose their powers because there was a theory like, and I think they even referenced like an earlier issue where like if one of them was losing their powers, the rest of them would follow.
Right.
And that begins to happen. Like Johnny loses his powers, gets to the point where Reed can't really do much, and Sue is really just being barely able to hold her force fields up.
Hmm.
And then so it's like kind of like a last effort play to get their powers back. And then it works for a second, but it doesn't work in the long run because it blocked all of the most of the race from exposing them back then. So everything they did is kind of undone.
Yeah, pretty
They
much.
never they never existed. So they've just been erased.
Yeah.
So that, okay.
It's like they just like reloaded like a save state,
Yeah, well
and like
yeah,
went back and boom, like now it's
they literally ceased to exist.
yeah.
I'm like, damn, that was crazy. Like that was
Yeah, when I got to that final, I was like, oh.
yeah, I was
But
like,
then
oh
again, I'm
shit.
like, we've lost the kids before in Ryan North's run. We'll be all
Yeah.
right. We'll be all right.
I kind of feel misled by this cover though, because I was kind of
Yeah.
expecting to see these like alternate
Yeah, I
reading.
was wondering what the hell. Like, I guess it's just the alternate universe, like
Yeah, I
fantastic.
mean it's a cool cover, it's all it is, but I was like
Yeah,
kind of like bummed because I wanted to see like maybe those characters or something. But whatever.
yeah.
Is what it is. Like they could have been the replacements for the Fantastic Four.
31. Man, Ryan North is killing it as always.
And he's got more coming too because he's got two more issues with this series and then the relaunch with #1 in July.
And pretty much, dude, that number one preview was just it. We got nothing to worry about. It's gonna be awesome. It's still
Yeah, that'd
awesome.
be fun.
Still Ryan North. It still feels like it, and it's great.
Yep.
What do you want to talk about now? I know we got two free comic books. Oh yeah, Lost Fantasy. That's right. Show that other cover because that other cover's
Yeah,
sick.
let me find that one. Yeah, here's the main one,
Yeah,
just like the dude with the sword. Here it is right here. So it was really the homage cover is kind of what caught me on it at first.
yeah.
They're
But it's
doing,
actually a good story, right?
yeah, it turned out to be really good actually. So this is
Dude,
the
that's
homage
so
cover, and they
sick.
even have like the PlayStation 1 like
Yeah, the
style, like
colors and the font.
yeah,
That's sick.
edge.
And they use the comic rating for the
Yeah,
rating. That's sick. Yeah,
yeah, and then they even use like the font, like the Final Fantasy font for it.
I love
It
it.
was really cool. Yeah, this caught me by surprise. It's only five. It's like $5, or it's $5, and it's just a straight up fantasy book. I didn't I didn't realize I had read something by this artist or this writer before up until I get to the very end because it includes like the newest chapter of an indie book that I had read by him a couple years ago that got cut short called The Indigo Children.
Oh, I remember that.
And it was like four, maybe five issues tops. But I
Mhm.
remember being like, it was like solicited for more, and then it just never happened. And so at the end of in the back of this, you get the next chapter of it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I was kind of excited for it. I was like, oh shit, okay. So we're good to go. So I ended up picking it up mainly for that reason when I had found out about it. But um, yeah, so it's a good read. It opens up with this girl like running away. She's covered in blood, and she ends up stumbling across this guy in the woods, and he gets ripped to shreds. She's still running away, and then she ends up running across this couple in a car because she makes it to the street, and then they end up hitting her, and like this little girl gets into a coma,
No shit.
and the couple is kind of like obviously, you know, in a daze and stunned by what happened. And then it jumps scenes to like the white-haired character that we see on the covers, and he's like the main character. And he gets a call from just some random number. And you're like it kind of just drops you in the middle of his life. Like he's just like this kind of magical being, and he like inhabits this other world, and you see the kind of these like more magical looking
Hmm.
beings, and it kind of seems like he's a bit of an like private investigator for this more like kind of fantasy. But it's weird because it's not even like an alternate world or a dimension. It kind of it coexists in the real world because he literally goes to Montana and it's just like there. Like there's just shit just happens.
Mm.
But I don't know if people like some people just can't see it. It's one of those things.
It's like a dimension that's he can tap
Yeah, where
in.
it's like they like they're layered on top of each other, but it's like
Very
how like
Flash-like.
yeah. So it's kind of yeah, it's one of those things where it's like some people can see into that dimension, but it sits on top of ours. Like
Hmm.
I don't know, but it's cool. And then you get this like history of how it's kind of basically like regular Earth in like the United States, but then this magical world ends up going like making itself known,
Hmm.
and the world's leaders end up making like a treaty with the lead like this like the leaders of this magical realm. So as like time goes on, like wars happen. Um, there are five like warriors that are stationed in like one in the United States, one in Europe, one in Japan, and then one it looks like one in India and then one in Africa. So like they kind of are like representatives of the magical realm, but they're housed in like the world's like great leaders, so like they're great like the great powers of the world. And they're trained there and they're like the defenders of the like of the realm basically. Um so then one of them ends up finding a white-haired kid, and then fast forward, he trains him, and he's like, "Oh, you're my son. I never had yada yada yada." It's like very like, "I find you. You're the chosen one. Let me train you up to be, what you're meant to be." And then it's like the classic trope of, "I'm gonna reject it because edgy reasons," kind of thing. You know what I mean? But it works for this. It's cool. I like it.
Yeah.
Um,
I didn't decide this for me, you did, so I'm not gonna.
well, I'm gonna slack off, and I'm gonna go be a bounty hunter and do magical shit instead.
Right.
And get drunk and go sleep with things. Like that's basically like the whole like his whole character.
Okay.
But I'm sure as the series goes on, he'll like have that like change of heart.
Yeah.
And then he goes and visits the girl in the coma and kind of learns about what happens and that she her older sister had gone off with some friends and she's like, "Oh, you stay here, like and like we'll go." Like, and then she ends up sneaking in the back of the car. And then her friend, like the sister and her friends end up getting hacked up
Oh,
to bits. And it's like implied that it's like a like it's like a magical being, like a monster. And then so that's what she's running from. And he ends up going to the crime scene, like getting hooked up with the detective or like another officer to because he's kind of like an FBI, not like an agent, but he's like he works with them on magical stuff
oh, okay. It's like a
on the more
magical
fantastic.
division in crime. Like, yeah.
Kind of, yeah. He's like kind of like their liaison, I guess you could say. Not really like an official like government employee. He doesn't work. There's like it doesn't really seem like there's an FBI department for it or something like that. Oh yeah, Henry Blackheart, special consult. Oh, it is FBI. Okay,
Oh, okay.
I guess but consultants, whatever. You know what I mean? He's not like
Yeah.
somebody important. He's just kind of like, hey, it's weird. Can you check it out for us?
Right.
Um, because up until this point, it's just like you just hear about it and you see like the couple of the weird creatures in the beginning, and it's not really ever a big element until the end of the issue. So he's like learning about the crime a little bit and what had happened, and then he gets there and he so he has this like dragon tattoo on his neck, and he ends up like touching it, and he summons these dragons, and they're just like sassy as shit with him. And so they end up finding a few monsters. There's like this like dragon, it's like wolf or this like stone golem thing that you see on the main cover.
Yeah.
And he quickly just like puts the works on him, dude. Like, cause it's cool like the sequence with him like summoning and picking his weapons.
Hmm. That is cool.
Yeah, and then it's his sword, you
Oh,
know.
that's dope.
Yeah, and then it's like quick work of it's like just a few pages of him just fighting. Not a whole lot of dialogue.
That's dope.
Yeah, it's really cool. I really enjoyed it. The art's really good. It's really like it has that indie style, but it's very like scratchy. I don't know.
Hmm.
Like with books like this, I kind of like that like more rough
Yeah.
scratch art.
More
So then
gritty.
it's like pretty interesting because he like smokes these three monsters, but then he realizes that they were sent there for him to distract him, and then there's like a sniper
Mm.
at the end here
With magic bullets.
and just shoots his ass, bro.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, and he literally just says, "Is like the world goes black and I die." I'm like, "Oh
Phoenix
shit,
down.
okay."
Phoenix down.
Yeah, literally, huh? But no, it was really interesting. I thought it was really good.
Hmm.
Uh, it's it's one of those things where it's like the dialogue could be maybe you don't have to say fuck as much as you do. Like you can still like make it how you want to make it, but not it doesn't have to like it's just kind of like uselessly thrown around, I guess. But
Okay.
it's still cool. The dialogue is whatever. It's fine. It's good. The story itself is interesting. I like the premise and all that stuff, so I'll keep reading it for sure.
Yeah, if I end up finding a loose one, I'll end up picking it up,
Yeah.
especially that FF7 variant, because it's like, dude, that,
Yeah, it's a really cool cover, man.
yeah, I
It's tight.
mean, I'm a FF freak, so that's awesome. I just, even if I don't end up liking it, I just want it. That's
Get
pretty
the
cool.
cover, yeah. Uh
Now
all
we
in?
can talk about yeah, we can talk about we're only going to talk about the important, um,
Yep,
for
all in,
Comfort
and then
Day.
the Ultimate Universe Incursion.
Absolute universe and the ultimate universe. You should know if you watch this, you
Yes.
watch us, you know we just really care about those two things.
I mean, that's all the noise right now. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
let's
I had
talk
to
about
ask you about this because I was kind of confused by who these characters were because I really didn't I pretty much thought at the end of it I was like that looks like the person, but I don't think they're bringing the
yeah.
main version of the person,
And then they did.
and then they did. So, okay.
Yeah. Well, because yeah, he's even at the end. Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
So it's like it opens up with in Gotham, and it's like being narrated by somebody who's talking about how like he feels like an outsider, he never truly belonged, and that he was trying to find somewhere where he didn't feel as lonely, and then he ended up finding a place where he could kind of like look on, kind of like peer in on the inside, but while still being like a bit mysterious. And it's Mirror Master. Like it's kind of, it's obvious kind
Mhm.
of right away.
Yeah.
But then you see like it's the same dude from the end of Absolute Flash #1.
Right.
He's like narrating like he's like spying on Bruce. And then he goes to Smallville where he's like,
But it seems like Bruce notices because
yeah,
Bruce is looking down at the puddle like, "Ugh," like,
yeah,
So Bruce
yeah.
notices that Mirror Master, something
Like
happened.
something was amiss, yeah.
Yeah.
And then he goes to Smallville and he peeks in on Bruce or on Clark. I guess it's not even Clark because it's like just Kal-El
It's
in
just
this.
Cal. Yeah.
And then he's kind of talking about how Wonder Woman in this universe is the one
Yeah,
who,
I like his dialogue here about her where he's just basically like
yeah,
those two they're wrapped up in their own things, but like when things go bad with magic or anything else, when
yeah,
things
like when
the
like to
fans,
see the
she
bigger
knows what to do.
picture, she's the one to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he ends up just kind of observing the greater absolute universe with the Green Lantern and Flash and Martian Manhunter. And
Yeah,
then that next page is like his whole board of everything, like how everything's connected and what the Omega symbol is and a lot of that stuff. I I'm curious to see if they're gonna be like I say there as in we've already talked about it. But the next page reveal is main DC universe uh Mirror Master
yeah,
also like stepping through the mirror and hanging out with him. But
yeah,
I'm curious to see if they're gonna be like kind of the focal point that connects the two universes for whatever first big event they're planning.
right.
We'll
Well, what's
see.
really cool is if you look at the little Easter eggs in the two-page splash right before that, like
Yeah.
if you read everything, it's like, we have absolute Joker right there. We have to what end the Omega Men? Are the Omega Men?
Yeah, Black Stars. You have Dr. Fate's helmet.
Yeah,
You've got Stewart knew the weakness, whatever that means. Like whatever John Stewart knew something.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like
a picture of Wally.
Despero?
Yeah.
So bizarro. Despero?
You've got like this Omega symbol that looks like Booster's star in the middle.
Yes.
Is that implying that he ends up being possessed, or is it just that he's captured right now, like he is? You know what I mean?
Oh no. Because it says the beginning is the end, question mark.
Yeah. What
So
is the Temple of the Fourth World? All these little things, like the map of where the Green Lantern drops.
yeah.
All that. It's cool. I like it.
Y-
I'm interested.
Yeah.
Keep it
I
coming.
would say this is probably my favorite of the Free Comic Book Day stuff that come out just
Yeah.
because Steph Lemire and he just knows the assignment and how to nail it, and he did.
Every time, dude.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong though, this was still pretty cool. This was still cool. It's setting up the
Yeah.
Ultimate Universe Incursion. Is that what it's called?
Yeah. Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion.
Yeah.
So it's like a 4 or 5 part miniseries that comes out later this year, and
And
it's gonna
brilliant
follow up.
choice to have Cody Ziegler do it because one thing I
Yeah.
hate is like the Batman Hatouche problem where the person, the stories before don't matter.
Yeah.
So it's perfect to have Ziegler in it because he's like, okay, I've been writing Miles and it's going to be my Miles in
Right.
here, which is
Right.
the
And then
Miles.
whereas Camp will be writing the universe, the Ultimate Universe stuff.
Yeah.
So it just it's really just about that moment in the first issue of Ultimate Invasion
Yeah.
where the Maker stops by Miles' apartment. He says, "Hey man, like we're from the same universe. We're technically brothers. Like
Right.
come on, let's go." And he's all like, "Nah, man, I'm cool." He's like, "Well, in case you change your mind, I'm gonna drop this for you." You
Right.
know?
And we find out that Miles during that day basically goes out, does some things, comes home, takes care of his little sister? Is that what?
Yeah, so like he kind of like goes over his life since that moment because it's been about a year or so since that
Yeah.
happened. And he talks about how like he's had this fight with the Black Panther, and then there was Blood Hunt where he became a vampire,
Yeah,
and he
that's
was
right.
becoming the avatar of this spider god, and then he was fighting the Deadpools, and it was just like he's been through a lot. And then so he's finally like he's like, I just need a break, I need to catch a break. And he ends up seeing this card again because yeah, he's like taking care of his sister at the end of the night. And then he like just chucks it in the trash. But fate has other things in store, I guess.
Yeah, we see that little card like prop up and
Come,
it's like
and
on
his sister
electric,
just jumps out the crib and goes to touch it. Yep.
and we know that she's probably going to be transported to the Ultimate Universe because of that, and Miles is going to go after her. I just
Yep.
can't see Miles' face once he realized that it's not his Ultimate Universe because
Yeah, seriously, man.
that's gonna be nuts. And I feel like he's gonna, I don't know. I wonder if like he's gonna be like pissed that the Maker manipulated everything to hell, and
I mean, yes, I'm sure he will be, but also it's funny because I think the preview pages have shown like uh Peter and Richard interacting with Miles.
yes,
And yeah, it looks pretty good.
yeah, I'm excited for it. Like I said, Ziggler doing it, it's great. Camp, and especially Camp still doing the world building.
Yep.
It's perfect. I can't wait for this series. I can't wait to see how they're gonna try to bridge the Ultimate to the 616. And
It'd be really, really
same
good
thing with
stuff.
Absolute. That's what this All In issue did. It's like, okay, Mirror Master, Prime Universe Mirror Masters in the Absolute Universe or crossing with it now. So what
Yeah,
are if
yeah.
him and Mirror Master have all this knowledge of everything, they're gonna be communicating like the other both the
Yeah.
Mirror Masters. So I don't know. I'm excited for both. Absolute series, Ultimate series. Just keeps getting better.
Dude, I just keep thinking like it seems like every week there's like always just good comics.
Yeah. I
Like
don't know what it
I
is.
don't think I've had like a bad week with comics in like forever.
Yeah.
It's been great for a long time, dude.
Dude, it's insane. I've never like this like reminds like this era reminds me of like for some reason like when like the new 52 came out and I was just like buying all these new books. And I was just like, okay,
I
here.
yeah, like I'm currently reading more than I think I've ever had, like
Hmm.
new stuff. Because I'm like hitting like over 100 new issues every month.
Yeah,
Bad, dude.
I believe it, dude. But yeah, that's
But
it. That's all we got for today,
yeah,
guys.
that's it. That's it, y'all. It's
Hmm.
not too long a one, but it's a lot of comic stuff. So
Yeah,
we just like talking comics. You know how it is around here. But
absolutely.
all right, dudes. Peace out.
Later on, guys. Stay safe out there.